Hey YouTube, I was thinking about this video idea in the shower. Um, kind of just, I don't know, this phrase popped into my head, the tyranny of I, like not I, but the letter I. And yeah, and then I was thinking about, well, so last night, I'm not going to get into details because it's kind of personal, but I'm not living with my daughter right now, or her mother. She's about 1.5. So yesterday I went down, spent part of the day with her, and her mom and I and my daughter went out to Costco, and I had a lot of fun. It was just being with her. We were playing together in the shopping cart, and I was giving her free samples, and she was hiding behind this big box of diapers that was in the cart next to her, and she was just having fun riding in the cart, and just giving her various things we were buying to play with, fruit, and well, I bought a big bag of broccoli and gave her little broccolis to eat, and then we went to the food court, and she was we were hanging out with this other mother with two older kids, and she was talking to my partner Jamie about just about mothering and parenting in general, and and then I got home real late. I didn't get to sleep till late, which is probably with my eyes. I look a little tired, but I got to go to work in about half an hour. But I thought I'd make a video, and I was just thinking about that purity that is so contagious and so enjoyable hanging out with my daughter, and I think it's because she doesn't really have a sense of herself, and I think that's what's unattractive in so many adults, especially. I notice it when you live alone. It's hard not to have that kind of everything's about yourself. There's no, I mean, even having pets helps a lot because you've got some kind of reference outside of yourself, and internet communities and even making YouTubes and stuff like this. But of course, it's not the same as real connections. But yeah, I was just thinking about how kind of free she is. She doesn't have this image of herself that she has to uphold, and so she can just kind of like flow with life and be curious about life and not be like, oh, well, people are going to expect me to act this way. Oh, well, people think I hold this belief, or I do hold this belief, so I have to be consistent with that belief and not change my beliefs in light of new evidence. There's no pressure to be who you are, because who you are is just this expanding, all-encompassing thing that not even fully self-aware, which of course self-awareness brings many gifts that she doesn't really have yet. She can't think about herself. I mean, it's good to have the ability to think about yourself and who you want to be and how you want to represent yourself, but it's kind of a can of worms. You can really get caught up in it. And I feel like the best moments in life are when you kind of transcend that, through whatever means. Reading a good book and you're just engrossed in the story and connected with the characters, and you kind of forget yourself. Or when you're having sex and you and your partner are just you're just enjoying their like happiness more than your own, even, and that's great. And and this is a chess channel, so I just thought I'd make a chess parallel that a lot of times, you might get like a advantage, and then you're like, okay, shoot, I have to trade down to the end game. I have to finish this game quickly, instead of just trying to find the objective best move. You have the sense of anxiety about yourself, about that about I must survive, I must win. And I feel like when I'm playing my best, I'm just not really so worried about winning and losing. I want to win, that's my goal, but I'm just kind of in the game. And I noticed recently I do chess puzzles on chesstempo.com, and I just broke 1900, which I'm kind of proud of. Even though a friend of mine who's much lower rated player is already over 1900 too. But I find one thing now, when I get the puzzle wrong, I'm not like, oh my god, I got it wrong. Like, this sucks, I suck, I should give up chess. Not that I get that extreme, but I have some very, usually much lower level of that kind of emotion. And now I really have kind of trained myself. When I get it wrong, I'm like, okay, why did I get it wrong? Okay, why is that the best move? And I try to kind of like try to really internalize the idea that I didn't see for the tactical maneuver and put that in my head so I have it for next time, instead of like this ego thing about getting my rating up as high as possible and wanting to get them all right. Because getting them all right is good because you're practicing stuff you already know. But when you get it wrong, obviously there's something you didn't see, or something you might have seen a part of, but you second guessed yourself and you didn't see the line all the way through. And anyway, I'm kind of, like I said, I didn't script this. I didn't really even think about it for more than 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm just putting all these ideas together in my head. But I think that, transcending yourself, in chess or athletics, or obviously in science, if you let your ego and what you want to believe as opposed to what's real, what you're truly observing, what's truly there trying to show itself to you, if you let all that get in the way, you're going to create an impure product. And I'm not like dissing the self. I'm not saying we should all be like all wide open all the time. I mean, it's important to protect yourself, your body, your emotions, your mental health, your family. You can't just let anything in. But if you're focusing on something because you choose to, whether it be another human being or a chess game or a book you're trying to write, or a scientific principle you're trying to understand, or a human being you're trying to understand and relate to, instead of kind of responding from like the self and this is how I am and this is how you're supposed to be, and just to be like open. I feel like it's powerful, and I feel like a lot of the problems I have today and a lot of the problems my loved ones have and other people who I interact with have, that hold them back from being as effective and happy as they could be, is that sense of the tyranny of I call it. And this video wasn't that professional. It's not like a big thesis or something. It's just an idea I had, and I wanted to flesh it out. Yeah, I feel like people are the most happy when they're serving beyond the I. But not when they're sacrificing their I, not when they're sacrificing themselves, suffering for someone else, losing that comforting sense of identity and selfhood, which I feel is good too. When I exercise, I've been working out lately. It's probably not very noticeable yet, but when I look at myself in the mirror and I've been exercising, it's enjoyable, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with enjoying winning a game or getting your rating up, it's the attachment to it. And I feel like people are at the most happy when they're serving both themselves and a wider community, which I don't think that there's ideally a dichotomy between those two. It's not like, I give to you and I'm losing and you're gaining. The best things in life, there's some things, if you have a plate of food and you give away half your food, you only have half for yourself, but a lot of things aren't like that. A lot of things you're giving and receiving at the same time. And just to throw a chess parallel back into the mix again, in Vote Chess, I kind of, on chess.com they have this feature called Vote Chess, and I have this team on there called Nars's People, and for a while, now we're only playing, I think, 2 games, but for a while we were playing like 4 or 5 games at once, and a lot of strong players, a lot of better players than me, and a lot of not super strong players who had a lot of time to think about it and were also given some good ideas. But yeah, I really liked that group, and I liked the dynamic of it, because it felt like, and it wasn't always like this, sometimes I'd get attached to my ideas, sometimes other people get attached to their ideas, it seems, but the goal of it was to find the best move, and it didn't matter who suggested it, it just mattered that we made the best move. And it was really beautiful in a way because, say I suggested a move that I thought was the best, but then someone said, oh no, that's incorrect, because check out this variation, it actually loses a pawn. And then, I'd look at it in more depth and I'd realize they were right. Or I might analyze it in more depth and realize they were wrong, and then actually their variation didn't work, it had a mistake in it. But it wasn't about me being right or them being right, it was about the end result. And I think that's the way life should be, and so often isn't. And I know I fall victim to the ego trip and wanting to be right over wanting the truth also. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about.